Alright guys, what's going on? This is Otis here, and this was my first flight in the attack helicopter since the new patch, and I wouldn't say it was too amazing for me. I did get that 5 kill here that you'll see a little bit later on. That's also I posted yesterday, but my gunner ended up getting I believe it was like 42 or 43 kills. And I'm absolutely loving the new patch in the even in the attack helicopter. I thought it would be a little difficult. It does get a little difficult in this game just because pretty much towards the end when we pretty much just start freaking just butt raping them almost. I mean, it seemed like the whole entire team had the stingers, the iglas, whatever side they're on, and they were just firing at us constantly. And I do get some really nice landings actually too once we get damaged. And the one thing that with the new patch, as most of you know, at least in the PlayStation people who've played it, is the repair time for your vehicles is pretty much almost 3 times like compared to like what it used to be. And so basically what ends up happening is it takes a really long time to repair. But being in the attack helicopter, I don't really see any problem with that. Like maybe it took maybe like 3 or 4 more seconds, and I don't know what I was being like a jackass right there. I don't know how we didn't blow up or die, but we had our 2 deaths, one actually being shot, and then another one coming up here in a minute, where I get like I get like drunk controls, I call them, pretty much, where pretty much what ends up happening is you guys have seen it, like when I crash into things and stuff, and I like my fingers just like end up panicking. I end up running into like a light post or something, and this happened to be a rock this time after I repair right here, I believe it is, right after repair this time. And it was kind of unfortunate. We had a really good run going, and what also really helped us too was we actually had a really good random guy in our squad who was flying the plane the whole time, and he was keeping the plane off our ass, and so we were able to pretty much just do strafing runs the whole entire game, and to pretty much give that suppressive fire that the attack helicopter needs to have, especially on this map being the rush mode, because otherwise, the defending team they're not going to let you get close to any of the MCOMs if they can get that attack helicopter out of the sky. But fortunately for us, it wasn't able to stay out of the sky. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah, okay, so I ended up hitting the mountain there, and then hitting the mountain ended up making me get pushed forward, which was kind of unfortunate. We had a good little run there. I forget what he was at that point, and this is the old Quint kill right here, my old 5 kills. I thought it was actually 6 at first. I saw the 600, and then actually when I went back and I reviewed the video, I saw that I ended up killing the tank right there. And the only reason why I would say I ended up getting the 6 kills, we were switching gunners right here, you could say, and you know what, it's hardcore. I don't care. It's happened to me. It's gonna happen to me again. So I have no problem killing a gunner and having my friend in there, because there's no point in not communicating, because if that other guy was in here this whole entire game, we wouldn't have been able to communicate and pretty much just lay waste the whole entire team. And pretty much this from here on all the way until we get shot down, which is the next pretty much rest of the video, they were just having havoc with us. Like before he ended up dying, he had the TV missile on. The TV missile doesn't blow up the helicopter anymore. That's what it seems like when we were using it right here before he ended up dying. But pretty much what ended up happening is once he ended up dying that first time, or we ended up dying, he ended up switching to thermal. I convinced him to say, you know what, let's just switch to thermal, let's just get our high kills. And I would say overall that even using thermal, which I was afraid that we would be able to use thermal anymore just because of the with the range, the lock on and everything, and being the one-shot disable right there where we did get hit. He did flare, but I don't know why we got hit. I don't know if it was just because we had 2 missiles shot at us like pretty much right after the other. But I mean, it's just something that we'll definitely have to get used to, because even using the flares in the new patch, you don't lose that lock on. And so if there's multiple guys targeting you, and one guy shoots, you dump your flares, unless your pilot or your gunner needs to dump their flares, you're going to get hit. And so that's what pretty much ended up happening there. And that's just something we're going to have to definitely get used to. But he does steal some of my kills here coming up too, which is unfortunate. But hey, you know what? If I can help him get 40 kills every game flying the attack helicopter, I have no problem with that. And pretty much another thing I would say too is if you're not communicating like with your gunner, this isn't going to happen because we're doing strafing runs. He's telling me where they are, you know, he's telling me where to turn, left, right, you know, and stuff like that, and where not to fly. And with this new patch, also, you guys got to remember too that the under the radar thing actually works now. I forget what it's actually like officially called, but if you're below the 25 meters, you know, they're not going to be able to lock onto you. And that's another reason too. Like if you fly really aggressive and really low to the ground, you're almost not going to get shot out of the ground because what's going to end up happening, which ended up happening here, is if you know after that first shot, you're able to dump your flares. And you're able to get underneath that below radar to let your flares recharge. You know, you're able to pop up real quickly because the flares only recharge in 12 seconds now compared to the pre-patch when they were recharging at 20 seconds. Although for the gunner, they still recharge at 20 seconds, so it's something you got to be a little bit careful of. And I'm glad they kind of kept it at that because if they didn't, the attack helicopters would just be so just overpowered. Like they're overpowered. Like if you have a good pilot and a good gunner like we had here, but if you have your normal average Joe, I mean, it's not going to be overpowered. But with these really good pilots, yeah, it could be overpowered, but it's just kind of hard to tell where that actually, like that 25 was, like on the mountain. That's another reason why I crashed too, is because we were still getting locked onto. Another thing I noticed too is I believe you're able to lock onto things below the 25 meter radar thing. But the thing is, though, too, is that they're actually not able to shoot your missile until you go above that, like, 25 meters or whatever. You know, I haven't used the actual Igla or Stigla to find out, you know, exactly. But, you know, and definitely with these landings, too, I think I got a little lucky, too, because I was being really, really aggressive on the landings. That's just something you'll definitely have to do. One thing that I definitely should have done each time I got into playing, like I said in the previous videos, is if you're in hardcore and you press start, you're able to see exactly how much health you have, which is something that probably could have helped us, you know, instead of me coming in so hot to those landings and stuff. But pretty much here we ended up pushing them all the way back. This ended up going towards the end of the game here now. And, you know, that tank probably should have killed us too. If there was even a decent tank guy in there, you know, he should have killed us. We were a little too high there, and so they were able to lock on and pretty much end our kill streak here, because I don't think we land. I think we end up dying. I forget. Yeah, we ended up getting hit again because, you know, our flares hadn't recharged, and we weren't below that 25 meters yet, which is actually really, really close to the ground. But, you know, hopefully you guys like this. I'm really loving the new patch with the attack helicopter on this rush mode. I haven't actually played it on Conquest yet, so hopefully I'll be able to get some of that in pretty soon at least. But I would still say thermal is definitely needed for the gunner. I know a lot of people say, oh, I can't believe you use thermal as your gunner, you know, and I told him to change the thermal. It's just something that I would definitely recommend, you know, using as your gunner. You know, it's worth it to get those, you know, 10 extra kills, maybe a few extra deaths just to get your get those high kills, because you're not going to get a high kill game if you're not using thermal. So it's just something that I would recommend, and definitely try it out a little bit more, but you do have to try it out with, you know, a really good pilot. So you know what, just some food for thought, you know. Thanks for watching, guys. I should have my infantry and my tank gameplays up a little bit later today, and again, thanks for watching, guys.